Hello, and welcome to today's mini training on the Office of Child Care Monitoring Document Submission Chart. Here's our agenda for today's session. We'll review the structure and format of the document submission chart. We'll review the type of documents that may be included. And finally, we'll discuss the process for completing the chart and transmitting documents. Let's get started. Before we dive in, let's take a moment to remind ourselves of how the document submission chart fits into the monitoring process. At this point in monitoring, you, the state, should have completed State Planning Call Number 1. Prior to that call, you submitted your compliance demonstration chart. After the call, you may have submitted a revised version to include the agreed upon changes made with the OCC monitoring team during the call. On that chart, you identified materials, documents, and links to share with the monitoring team for the pre-visit desk review. After you've submitted the revised compliance demonstration chart, you're ready to submit those pre-visit materials. You will submit the materials, documents, and links that you identified on your compliance demonstration chart by completing and submitting another chart called the document submission chart. We will discuss the details of what to include and how to submit momentarily. As indicated on State Planning Call Number 1, based on feedback received from other states, the completion of the document submission chart and the gathering and submission of those materials should take you no more than 1 month. Between the receipt of your materials and State Planning Call Number 2, the OCC monitoring team will conduct an extensive desk review of the documents provided.
Here is what the document submission chart looks like. The document submission chart was included within the OMB-approved compliance demonstration packet that you received. It is the second part that follows the compliance demonstration chart. You can also download it now from the resources window in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. So now let's talk about how to complete the document submission chart. This is a sample from a completed document submission chart. Like the compliance demonstration chart, it is organized by topic and by the specific regulations being monitored within each topic. This chart gives both the state and the monitoring team an opportunity to organize and catalog the information being submitted for the pre-visit desk review. Here's how the document submission chart is structured. First, there is a topic header with a description listed underneath the topic header of the regulation citation number and regulation short name. Note that in this example, the focus is on the 12-month eligibility determination and redetermination. The first column next to the regulation citation number and regulation short name is titled Document to Review, which provides a place to list a description of the document being sent for review. The next column is titled File Name or URL. And then there is a column titled Page/Section, which provides the state with a place to show where the specific evidence is located within the document being sent. And finally, the Date Sent column, which is an optional field that allows the state to track when each document is sent to the OCC monitoring team. Now think back to when you completed the compliance demonstration chart. You likely listed on your chart relevant sections of your subsidy policy manual or your state's administrative code. Here, you see those listed in the Document to Review column. Note, however, more detail is added here than would have been in the compliance demonstration chart. The section numbers are listed in the document description column, and they could also have been put in the page or section column. Before adding to the document submission chart, be sure to look closely at your documentation to ensure that it covers the specific requirement of the CCDF rule, and include whatever helps the monitoring team find the specific evidence. Also note that what's on this form should align with what is in the pre-visit column on your updated compliance demonstration chart based on what was agreed upon during State Planning Call number 1. Hopefully you have a sense of how the compliance demonstration chart and the document submission chart support the monitoring process. Here's a visual representation showing the level of detail needed in both the compliance demonstration chart and the document submission chart. As you can see, the information needed to complete the compliance demonstration chart is very broad. For example, here we only state Child Care Subsidy Manual. However, when describing the Child Care Subsidy Manual for the document submission chart, you will need to provide more detailed information such as specific document names, sections, and page numbers, etc. Anything that relates specifically to the topic and component of the CCDF regulation. One other difference between the compliance demonstration chart and the document submission chart that is important to note is how Topic 5 is broken down. While the 11 health and safety topics are listed together in the compliance demonstration chart, each health and safety topic has its own section for you to include relevant codes and rules applicable to each of the 11 health and safety topics. Here we want to emphasize again that the monitoring team will be looking for evidence for all provider types, so be sure to include the requirements for your licensed and license-exempt providers and all of the categories of care that are CCDF eligible in your state, center-based, home-based, etc.
Now that you know what you will include on your document submission chart, let's talk about how to submit it. When are your pre-visit materials due? Be sure to check on your state's monitoring activities chart and revisit the agreed upon date discussed on State Planning Call number 1. We know you are busy. Remember to use your team to support your completion of the document submission chart. For example, some states delegate the different topics to content area experts or team members to compile the chart. Other states choose to form a small committee or group to take on the task of compiling all of the documents and filling out the chart. Here are some things to keep in mind when submitting. Do include URL links when they are available instead of attaching PDFs. This minimizes the number of attachments to send via email. Do send documents in batches. This might be helpful as it can assist with timely submission. You don't have to wait for everything to be completed before submitting. And it can help streamline the work if different state staff or agencies are completing different sections. You can keep track of which items you've sent by using the Date Sent column in the chart. Perhaps you have different staff working on different topics. There's no need to wait for Topic 5 to be completed if Topics 1 through 4 are ready to send. The earlier the monitoring team receives the information, the more time they will have to conduct their desk review, which will allow more time to prepare for the on-site phase. If it's more convenient, you can send everything all at once. Do include page numbers and citations where applicable. This helps the monitoring team conduct the desk review efficiently. For written evidence, only send documents that already exist. There is no expectation to spend time creating documents, writing new reports, etc. In the event that you need to share a large report from a database, it may be better reviewed together on screen during the on-site visit. If you would like the monitoring team to have a preview of the report, you may only want to share a page or two as an example. There is no need to print a large volume of things to give us on site. Sometimes, Reports like these contain personally identifiable information, or PII. If you would like to provide evidence that includes PII, please keep that data in your office and the monitoring team can review while on site. Refrain from sharing information containing PII, such as subsidy family names. Emailed items should be sent to the regional office with a CC to the WRMA lead. Again, if you have any issues, files are too large, etc., the monitoring team can arrange for uploading alternatives. In the event that you'd rather not email something, or should a file be too large to attach, the monitoring team can provide submission alternatives and facilitate the receipt of documents. You're set and ready to complete the document submission chart. Thanks for taking the time to complete this training. Should you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your regional office.